Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah. Episode 895.
Woo!
Hi.
Hi, Suze.
Doing?
I'm so good.
Are you?
I am good because I got to do one of my favorite things, which is tell people I told you so.
That is the funnest thing you could
Isn't
ever
that
do.
the best? I had to take my car in, and there were the whole things going wrong with it, and I was like, I know this is the fuel pump. And then they sent me an email that said customer's complaint has been confirmed. And those reading those words, I was like, oh, I just, if I had a dick, it would be rock hard. Because that was so nice. And then they tried to charge me a bunch for it. And I was like, no. This is covered under the recall. And I called Toyota dealership, not the Toyota dealership, the Toyota like main number. Mm-hmm. And they were like, yeah, you're right. That person was either unaware or trying to pull a fast one on you. And I love catching people trying to pull a fast one.
Do you think it was a fast one?
Yes, because I had already said to him, this is under warranty. And he goes, well, it's already been replaced. And I was like, I'm not buying it. If you replaced it with another faulty part, there's no reason a fuel pump from a 2019 that gets replaced in 2021 should fail by 2024 or 2025. Nope. That's a faulty part, and it's part of the drivetrain. And drivetrain is covered under the certified warranty.
Wow. So, I'm so happy for you.
It was so awesome.
I'm so happy that your Tacoma is a lemon.
It's not a lemon. It's not. It's good. It just is one part. And once that gets fixed, it'll be running like butter.
Okay, we'll see. I hope so.
Yeah.
Because it's no good. It's no good.
No good. But, yeah, it's fine. Totally fine.
How about how I wanted to tell you that there's a local eatery that has Monday night trivia nights, and we happened upon it.
Yeah.
And Lincoln was psyched out of his mind.
Yes. Oh, it runs in the family.
And we, for 2 weeks now, have been playing. It's super fun. We love it. But we are shitting the bed.
Oh, well, okay. Is it just you and Link?
No, it's me, Link, and Adam.
Okay.
And, I mean, we do average.
What do you feel like you're struggling with?
Weirdly.
I know, the music round.
No.
Oh,
that's where I crush it.
Okay, because sometimes the new songs you don't know.
That is the problem.
Right.
Do you know who sings Cake by the Ocean?
Oh. Okay, but... Vampire Weekend?
No, it is some dumb band called like DNC something.
No idea. Nope, never was going to get that. I'm so off.
Right? I was like, that is a one-hit wonder. I should know this, but I do not.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did get 7 points because I knew Blueberry Hill was sung by Fats Domino.
Wow. No. How dare I ever doubt your abilities in a music round. Name that tune round. Wow.
Thank you, Sarah.
I apologize.
That's
I was
okay.
quickly reminded because I don't even know who that is.
That's so sad. He's a legend, and I think he may have died in Katrina because he's from New Orleans.
Oh,
I knew
sad.
he was rescued or something in Katrina. But anyway, I am shitting the bed in politics.
What?
Yeah, like it'll be like this Arizona governor became the second Homeland Security. And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
That's hard.
Thank you.
It's really hard. That's specific.
And I feel like people are cheating. There is no way three teams know that. Homeland Security?
It depends on... I don't know.
Yeah,
it depends
everybody has different wheelhouses.
what your like hyperfixation is.
But anyway, it was really funny because one of the questions was about books of the Bible, so obviously I got it. But
crush it.
Lincoln was like, "Do you think I could name 5 books in the Bible?" And I'm like, "I sure hope so."
Yeah.
And he attempted.
Oh gosh, did you just name the Beatles or what?
No, he got a couple, but then I swear to God, one of them that he said that he thought was a book of the Bible was Logan.
Well, Luke, Logan, I mean, come on.
I was like, this
Logan, how biblical.
A tragic. So we have a lot to learn, I think, but...
Yeah. He didn't go to vacation Bible school like I did.
Do you think that trivia is sort of like crosswords where, like, you start to learn, like, the...
Yes.
Okay.
How
the categories.
And
like,
how they're asking, and how, like anything, so much of the answer can be in the question.
Yeah.
Or the title of the round.
Yeah.
That's important, and sometimes you don't think about that. You have to know the way that the clue is being asked. Sometimes it's, things with the last letter that rhymes, or, weird shit.
All right. I get upset when I get them wrong.
Oh, don't. It's fine. It's just for fun. Funsies.
It is not for fun. It's for
murder.
bragging rights. Right. We host Brain Candy.
I know. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's been tough recently.
You usually win, though.
Well, not at certain ones. I started going to Geeks Who Drink is one that's real popular, and theirs is hard. Because
what
you have
makes it
to
hard,
know.
Do you think?
They do a lot of like the. You can choose which rounds you're going to go double or nothing in, and so there's a lot of chances for the scores to swing wildly in one direction or the other based on which rounds you choose to go double or nothing in, because some rounds are worth more than others. So maybe you know a whole bunch on one round, but the other double or nothing round is worth 2 points for every question you get right, things like that. So
there's a lot to consider.
So much, and you never know who you're playing against. And sometimes when they bring out these teams of 7, I'm like, oh, no.
Oh,
5
ours
max.
has a limit of 4.
Okay, I like that. I want 4. Too. Yeah, 4 max, 5 maybe, but none of this like.
We noticed there were these incels that were crushing it called Dumb and Dumber. And so we named our team Smart and Smarter.
That's really
Which
funny.
is only really funny if you do well. It's not funny if you're in fucking 7th or something and
no,
they are crushing it.
That is fun. That is funny.
All
it's
right.
like the small dog named like
yeah,
like
right,
something big, or the big dog named like Tiny or something. Yeah. I'm
All
like,
right,
what
well,
the hell is
trying.
a name for a small dog that's big? I couldn't think of anything big.
Yeah, what would it be?
Tank?
XL? Oh, Tank. I like that. Good one. All right, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what I have here for you. Well,
okay.
Men are getting penis fillers.
What? Okay. I'm sorry. They can't be talking to us about, you guys, we prefer a natural look.
Oh, yeah.
If you're all pumping your pee-pee with the plastics.
Right. I couldn't agree more. And here's what's bonky about it. I mean, the whole thing, really. I support it. You do whatever. I mean, if you have
gender confirming surgery, right?
That's right. You want to feel more of a man or whatever the heck.
Or affirming surgery.
Knock yourself out. What I enjoyed learning were the types that you can get. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
Well, for starters.
Ribbed for her pleasure?
For starters, the penis has to be erect during the during the procedure.
That is a skill.
Well, they give them some sort of weird, like,
they make them
artificial pill or whatever.
Right. Okay, I see.
And then
they're not just
comes.
like, oh, right.
Yeah. Pressure's on.
Yeah.
Okay, so they inject the erect penis, and they have 3 types of penis filler situation. You can get a thicker girth. That's called a girth enhancement.
Okay.
You can get a larger scrotum.
Is that the ball sack? Balls?
Yeah, and why? Why?
This seems fetishy within the gay community.
Okay, it's called a scrofill.
This is not for women.
Why would it be for the gays, though? Why do they like a big scrotum?
You can't ask me. I don't know. But I remember...
that's the area. Is that the taint?
No, I think scrotum is balls.
Scrotum?
The ball sack.
Why don't they call them testes?
They do. I think that's what they call the individual ones.
But combined, it's the scrotum.
I believe so. I feel like that is a plural, like a
This is like 100 tampons, but like reverse.
It absolutely is.
Okay, fine. So they could get...
Do not make me Google scrotum.
They could get a larger scrotum, scrofill, or it could just be for more of a shower than a grower, and that's called Showtox. And they use Botox to relax muscles in the penis and retain more blood when flaccid.
Okay. This feels like what you do if you work at Chippendales or Magic Mike's in Vegas. This is for that.
The package.
Yes.
You're showing off.
This is like, I'm a male model and I want to be a swimsuit model and I want to...
Yeah, Sarah, because it doesn't sound like any of them make them longer.
No, and none of them make them like...
Good.
Right. This
None
is
of them
for
make them,
vanity.
like, nice, like women. None of them give them good personalities.
Right.
Okay. So what is your theory? Because the article did not, it gave 3 types of customer, but it did not address what is on everyone's mind. And you've already said that this is probably mostly for gays.
Yeah. Because I remember I watched a Vice documentary about like penis implants and who was getting those. And it was a guy who was in like Sweden or Germany, someplace in Europe. And he was in like the BDSM community and they were really into enlarging parts. And that like, it's like a fetish, like the big muscles.
Yeah, this is not for women.
It's not, there's no woman who's like, I love my man if only he had a larger scrotum. The amount, we didn't even know what the fuck that word was.
I don't want to know. I don't even like scrotums.
No woman does. I mean, like,
maybe
I don't
somebody
know.
does.
Maybe they do. I don't want to speak for all women, especially
And
when
frankly,
I'm only having sex with women. So
even though, like, you know, it's nice to look at a nice big wiener or whatever. Sometimes, Sarah.
I know.
Get in the game.
I'm just imagining scrotums.
Oh, okay. It's not. We all know that the truth. The truth of the matter is the old classic that like size doesn't matter because
Not at all.
I remember recently I was talking to my stylist about how Adam has a gigantic wiener. Good for him or whatever. But
Yeah.
she said her reaction wasn't like, yeah. It was like she goes, I'm so sorry.
Oh, right, because it seems like painful.
Because it is.
Right, that wouldn't have worked for me. Right.
Exactly. And I think it might be beautiful to look at, but like the reality of it is a whole different story.
Totally.
Okay.
Right.
So my impression here is that none of these injections make a longer penis.
No.
For the people who really would want that. Like maybe somebody who has like a micro penis or something.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing. Like really, really, really small.
Yeah.
It sounds like, and this is what's fucked up, that they have some men who they claim they want to be the biggest in the room, but clearly it's about girth.
Uh-huh.
Because one guy ended up with a penis over 7.5 inches in circumference.
That's insane. That is
like that.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are we doing here?
Where's that going?
Nowhere.
Not in a hole of a body.
Right. Oh, God.
Anybody's body. Butthole. Right.
Susie.
I'll just name them all.
Oh, God. I can't take it.
I'm just saying, like, even if you like run through the holes, there is not a hole that would work for. Anyway,
oh Lord,
it said that the clientele are sex workers, of course.
Yeah.
Young professionals or like in their 30s or 40s who hold jobs in like creative fields like marketing, which is so weird.
Marketing
specific.
what? You dick? Oh, she's silent laughing. Oh.
And then
These jokes, right, that I'm in. I can't, what am I going to say? Nothing? I can't not respond to this insanity.
I knew this would be great for you. Okay. And then roughly half of the clients are, quote, high-powered moneymakers in the finance and real estate market in their 40s and 50s.
These are the same people who are joining that $250,000 a year sex club.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
what this
about like actual sex with women.
No. This is not about that. This is about something and like where are you going that you're feeling real insecure about the girth of your penis?
Because nobody's looking for that. Nobody, like you said, nobody's saying scrotum.
And I guarantee you some woman would be like, I am so happy to be married to this person or with this person because they like treat me nice and like give me orgasms and like go down on me. But they don't say like, oh, because he's girthy?
Never.
No.
There
are other
woman.
ways to get what you want if what you're looking for is a woman to fall for you. Then that. But I can't speak for men, so that's why I feel like this might be something that maybe gay men are interested in.
Yeah, you're right. Because no lady has ever been like,
no,
boys, is he girthy?
I mean, no, that's not. We
mention it like as a fun story.
But it's not like the make it or break it, and to a point where we would need a partner to go out and get. I've never said like, oh yeah, I'm a real girth
and they're
gal.
expensive. Right.
No.
Okay. Well, at any rate, these are really expensive injections. I don't get it. And if you're getting them, please call me so I can talk to you because I want to know.
Do you think this is just the plastic surgery industry that saying we can, so we will? Yeah. Like
maybe,
like labia all that bullshit that nobody needs at all.
Right. I think it's like a very rare person that actually needs sort of like whatever
medical surgical intervention.
And the only time I could imagine the girth thing being an issue is if like you had a really like a pencil dick that's like proper pencil.
Yeah, but like also who cares? Like because there's so many things get you farther than. No, let me tell you, nobody goes to therapy over the size of their husband's dick. But they do go to therapy because their husbands don't listen to them, or they don't feel connected, or they don't take care of their needs, or they feel abandoned with the household duties, or they feel like they aren't even friends, and they feel like they are living separate lives, or they don't really know each other. Those are the things to work on if you are in a relationship with the woman. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. And this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you would like to go to therapy to talk about any of the things Sarah just said.
Even penis size. You can go talk about that.
You can talk about that.
I've talked to people about that before because, why not? But doesn't mean...
It is fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Especially after you break up. That's when the real juice... that's when the tea gets spilled. But if you're functional and want to just go to a therapist, BetterHelp is such a great option because you can do it conveniently. You can pick a therapist that specializes in whatever you need, if it's like relationship stuff or family stuff or stress or grief. And you can go from wherever you are because it's all online. And you don't have to go to an office if you don't want to. You can just...
So convenient.
Be where you are.
Yep.
And they have affordable and convenient options. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/BrainCandy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/BrainCandy. I know a lot of men that could use BetterHelp.
Absolutely.
Like any of the guys going to this Girth Master guy, whatever.
Yeah, I think that you should just talk to a therapist before you go making any...
It's a lot cheaper than these injections.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
I don't know what you spent on Botox or whatever, but this was like $12,000.
What?
For a penis filler. One round.
Okay, that means you're making... This really matters and you're making a lot... That is translating into... dollars. It's a difference of It's affecting your paycheck.
Or you have money to burn.
Or you have money to burn. That's why like sex workers are doing like okay. No fucking way, $12,000. Get out of here. Get the heck out of here.
All right.
God, and I need some more Botox. It's been a while. It's been like a year.
I watched on Max the Luther Vandross documentary.
Yeah.
And the documentary was fine, but what I really enjoyed about it was the story of Luther. And if you're not familiar, he is a beautiful R&B singer from like the 80s and 90s. And he was a bigger fella. Mm-hmm. And that was a big part of the documentary was his body issues and like weight fluctuation stuff. And then also basically that he was closeted.
Oh.
And so that
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was he died in like 2007 or something like that.
Was this widely known despite, in the way that we know a lot of other
like it was rumored and
yeah.
It was like an open secret.
Oh, okay.
But and like the tabloid, he sued a tabloid for saying that he had AIDS when he lost a bunch of weight, that kind of thing.
Oh gosh. That's terrible that the publisher did that.
When it was during that time, the 80s and 90s, when that was just part of tabloid culture. And, if you were a star, and, if you're a man in particular, and you're a gay man, you are not going to say probably that you're... Even Richard Simmons never said it.
Right.
So it was just exploring how this person who really was living his lifelong dream to be a singer, in particular, like a singer of like love songs and soulful music, was also like prevented from acting out the content of his songs. It was so powerful because
that's hard.
Man, right?
Yeah, that makes me sad.
And there was this one guy in there was talking about, they were friends, and he said, everybody wants fame and fortune. And he said, fortune's cool, but fame sometimes is pretty rough.
Yeah.
And it's funny how, like, even though we know that to be true, that we've seen lots of tragic celebrity outcomes.
Yeah.
We all still kind of like fantasize about, wow, they must have this sort of amazing situation.
Right. Because we think if somebody received or achieved fame and fortune, then they must be high up on the they're like social, on the social hierarchy. Mm-hmm. They're towards the top. They're higher than me. So we just imagine everything that comes with that to be better than anything we have. But the reality is, anywhere on that hierarchy, we are all victims of the same human experience and pain, love, sadness, grief, whatever it is.
Insecurities.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hiding ourselves, struggles with identity, doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. And back in the day, I mean, it's still like this to a certain extent, but back in the day, it was way more accepted to, in interviews, ask questions that were like,
ugh, it was really
gross now. A lot of it was about his body or like his love life that he did not want to talk about.
Yeah.
And that he felt like he had to, or he had to lie, or he had to like acknowledge like struggles with food or whatever. And it's so weird.
Wow, that is weird that we ask people about that and talk about that. And it really is wonderful. Things have changed so much.
Well, and I was thinking about how...
And we have a long way to go, but,
Yeah, like the thing that I don't think has changed as much as we imagine. Because everyone thinks now, well, it's a totally different society now. You can be gay and out, and it's not stigmatized in the same way. Mm-hmm. But for men in entertainment, depending on what their situation is, it is still, and that's why we still imagine in your mind a celebrity who is famously closeted. I can think of about 5 of them.
Yep. Got him.
And they probably are gay.
Yep.
Like, we're probably not just making shit up. Like,
No.
they probably, where there's smoke, there's fire type of thing.
Right.
But they can't say it.
Right.
Because they wouldn't get that movie.
Right.
Or that album.
And a lot of them are big overseas.
Right.
And so they need that leading man in other parts of the world.
Like, their career would be over.
Yes.
And we're asking them to make that choice. And that a lot of times they choose to live a secret life or a double life or whatever it is so they can keep their job. Mm-hmm. And that's still happening.
Yeah, that's very true. We think we've come a long way, but really.
Yeah. But it was really fun. And I got chills watching some of the footage, like him singing with Mariah and stuff like that.
Yeah, can you remind me of a Luther Vandross
Here
song?
and now.
Okay. Yeah. It's
I
very
promise
simple.
to love faithfully. Anyway, that was a good one. Dance with My Father was another great song that he put out right before he died.
Oh.
He had a stroke at 52.
Oh, my goodness. That's so young.
He had diabetes.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Right. And he was, like I said, heavier. And so he was probably dealing with a lot of health stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
But what a voice. Holy shit.
And imagine if you were like the soundtrack to, those like a lot of lovemaking.
Yeah, a
that
lot of
I
babies.
can see some insecure males saying, I'm not going to make love to a song sung by somebody who's singing to men.
That's right.
If they knew that. That's messed up. I hate that.
It's so sweet. He was such a
Because
sweetie
love
pie.
is love is love.
Yeah. So Luther was an icon. What a voice. Amazing. Whatever. Such a good film, though. It's on Max. Okay. I think we talked about this a while ago, but we're going to talk about it again.
Okay. I love that.
Somebody sent this to me, Brainiac, because this is like old scholarship, but you know how it is like recycled on TikTok.
Yeah.
And the scholarship was, if you recall, that lap dancers who are ovulating
Oh, yes.
make more money.
Yes.
And so I was rereading the New York Times article about it and the study that was done. And the way that they created this study was lap dancers would just log on to a website and say how much they made that night, what day they were in their cycle. It was all just sort of data. It wasn't like these scholars were getting lap dances or whatever. And so they did 2 cycles worth, and there was tons of dancers, and discovered that when lap dancers were ovulating, they made about $30 more an hour.
Wow.
Which over the course of
that's
a night
significant.
it was like $100 more a night.
Yeah.
And over the course of a month was heck a lot of money. So,
Yeah.
And then that the dancers that were on birth control, so they didn't have a fertile week.
I mean, for the record, heck a lot of money. Can't do it over the month because you're only ovulating one time during the month.
Yeah, but it was staggered. So it was like $30 more an hour this week, $15 more an hour this week.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
And what is remarkable and sort of shitty for women is that we don't fucking know when this is happening.
I mean,
and the weird thing is, like, unless you're tracking it, but most ladies, it's hard, and it's imprecise, as evidenced by the rhythm method.
Right.
But that the name for this period of time when you're ovulating is called estrus, but really it's just a fancy word for you're in heat.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
a cat.
Right. When you're most fertile.
Okay, so this
makes so much sense.
Forever, science thought human women didn't get in heat.
What is come on?
Because it was more nuanced. With like cats, they're like, "Wow!"
Yeah, you could ask any woman. There is that week where you're like,
No,
I'm
Sarah, that's you.
Okay, well.
You always said, like, you knew the moment that your
The
egg
moment
dropped.
I felt it. I felt that little pinch. Yep.
Most of us are living in denial or whatever the
Oh,
heck.
my goodness. But you don't feel like a change of, like, I need to definitely spread my seed, but
I
like
suppose
in a female way.
Maybe if, like, you had the information told to you for a period of time, then you would recognize, like, okay, I know this feeling and here's what it is.
Yeah. Like when you start to, like,
Yeah,
understand what to expect and kind of like track your own cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the trouble is that because women, it's vague and, you just might think you're just feeling yourself and not
that's what it feels like.
in heat.
Yeah.
That these dancers, if they knew, would like double up on shifts that week. And then they could take a week off when they fucking are menstruating.
Right.
When they are making $100 less a night.
Yeah, they should do that.
Okay. What I want to know from you, though, Sarah, is that this scholarship was done by men. And so, like, they were referring to it as, like, okay, turns out humans are going heat and BBB. And I'm like, okay, maybe, but maybe, like, when you're just, like, on your period and you get this blood coming out of your eyeballs, like Trump said, or whatever, that you just feel gross.
And you're not working. Oh,
you're like tired or something,
and you're not. Yeah, because
your heart's not in it.
That's kind of how I feel. I noticed when I was ovulating, because I was very aware how I felt on the opposite end, where it was like, I'm a fucking monster this week.
Yes.
You know, you look in the mirror and you actually are like, nope. I'm a monster.
Look
and
away.
And there's no difference between what you are seeing this week and last week.
Maybe
I
we're
would
not
dance
in
different.
heat.
Right.
When we're, ovulating, maybe it's that when we're like
menstruating.
Yeah, we're like, oh, I feel like
and they're not, shit. I'm sure as shit not putting in any extra effort with those dudes
and you're
on
like,
those
I hate
weeks.
men.
Oh, please, I am phoning it in.
So I just feel like, maybe we go into heat, but maybe there's more to it. Thanks, Sarah.
That's a good, that is an important perspective.
Like, they just are jumping to a conclusion that I feel like is unclear.
Right.
Of what's causing the increase.
And I think it would be important to compare that maybe to, like, we need somebody who's like had a hysterectomy and see how their payment has changed, who's like never ovulating.
Okay, so I guess theoretically that's what the birth control ladies are. And they do make less than natural
interesting
cycle people. But, like, what if it were through a screen, and you can't smell each other?
Right.
I want to know all of that.
Then it's about how the woman is feeling and what they're doing. That is they're what would be important to do, and is the missing part of that, is to have like video and have it coded. When people watch things and they tag it as like, this person did a move that was like touching the person. This person did a move. So you could like tag
I want data
and label everything and say, okay, there was the same, because you have to say the moves are the same. The physical attention is the same. The eye contact is the same. Those things have to be the same.
The men are the same.
And if those aren't the same, then like that's an important piece of the data, I think.
Because this all began when this guy that worked like fucking security at a strip club, he was in charge of like keeping the ladies safe or whatever, but he also would like dole out tampons to whoever needed one. And he would notice when they would report their tips at the end of the night that the tampon ladies were like struggling. They were making less.
Okay, I think it's because they're just feeling not into it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either.
I am not going to go shake my ass when I'm menstruating.
I'll tell you when I want to shake my ass. That's every time I look at this full head of hair.
Yes,
thanks
look
to
at that. Gorgeous. You look like a Barbie doll.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes.
I mean, it's awesome. And it's not just me, man. It's not anecdotal. This is science-backed.
Yep.
This is doctors saying, like, good news. We got the data on this. And it turns out this supplement is the trusted brand if you want to see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair
Longer.
with less shedding in 3 to 6 months.
Yes.
I mean, thank God, because if you're someone that's trying to grow your hair out, 3 to 6 months is nothing when it takes a long ass time to grow hair back.
Sure does.
So this is such a great way to kickstart, get things going, and you'll feel more confident. And I know the feeling, as you all know. Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code BRAINCANDY. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. All right, moving on.
Whoa.
Okay, this is just silly. There was a backpack that was stolen, I think in France, and all of their sort of credit cards and things were in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was that person's big mistake.
Yeah, right. What are you doing? And
amateur hour.
The fellas that stole the backpack were unhoused people, and they took the credit cards and they bought a lottery ticket.
Oh no!
And they
oh my God,
they hit the big time. They won $500,000. Okay, so these guys, these bandits, have a winning lottery ticket worth $500,000. Psyched out of their mind, but then like they can't cash it in, right? And so then the victim, the backpack owner, is like, oh my God, they bought this thing at this store with my credit card. They won. We're rich, right?
Right.
And so the lottery ticket has not been cashed in yet. The guy that sold the ticket is like, they were so excited. They ran out of the store, like laughing, pushing each other into the bushes, whatever. I don't know what they did. And so they're probably in like this thing where what do you do?
Because if you cash it in, then you're guilty of a crime of like using stolen money to, right? It was like,
yeah.
I feel,
So then the victim put out a thing that was like, if you come forward, I will split it with you.
Yes, fair.
Your life will be changed. You will not be unhoused anymore.
Right.
Everything's great. I will withdraw the like
police
criminal.
report. Yes.
And they haven't come forward yet.
What are they doing?
Right? Because why wouldn't
I love that guy who
Do you think they think it's a trick though? They think that like it's too risky.
They might think it's a trick, but what else are they going to do?
And like what? It's not death penalty. Even if it was a trick, you're not going away forever. It's just a fucking stolen backpack.
Right. How serious could the punishment be?
Yeah. So I'm like, what is the holdup here?
What if they lost it?
I would be like, oh, that's what I was thinking.
I was thinking they lost it.
Yeah, because they were like so excited and then like got wasted.
What if they lost it? Oh my God.
That would be just like classic.
Oh my God.
What would you do though if you were in this? You would do what this guy's doing, right?
Absolutely.
Like, hey,
we'll split it. Yeah.
Everybody's happy.
Whatever you want. Yeah, I'll even give you a little bigger, like we'll go whatever you want. Just like give me a little bit. And I got my backpack. I'd just be happy I got my backpack back. I know what a hassle it is to have to replace credit cards. One time my bag was stolen in New York City. One time in my life. That's it. And I learned from then on, we're carrying it with me at all times. It's in my pocket. You can't take it out of there. So yeah, that's the worst.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just wanted you to know about that.
That's a man.
Yeah.
What are the chances?
I know, because this guy wasn't going to buy a lottery ticket. So, like, he's just happy this happened.
Yeah.
He would have just been living his backpack life.
I was just playing with my silly putty, and I think it made like a little farting noise. And I hope that people don't think that was actually
that
me.
old story.
Right. I
Like
really
when
do.
you're in school.
Yeah, that is like it. But I was just doing that, and then I was like, that never does that. And I play with it during session all the time.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, the one time, I'm like, I literally had it right in front of the microphone. Let's see if I can recreate the sound.
Okay.
Nope, of course I can't.
No, right.
But so that works.
I have doubts. Okay, moving on. This is like whatevs, but I read the book Challenger about
The Challenger. Yeah, okay.
Disaster, NASA disaster.
When did that explode? Was it in 1986?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it was like 2 weeks after I was born or something.
It's funny that you say explode because that's kind of what the book's about.
Oh, did it not?
It did not.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, fuck. It is so horrifying. Because I didn't know when I started reading the book what the book was going to say. And it was that
God.
It has been this like colossal cover up that what actually happened was, a part of the spaceship did catch fire and explode, but it was separate from the compartment that the astronauts were in. And so it went away and they were in there alive until they crashed into the ocean.
Oh my God.
And they were
thought it was
retrieved
like
from the ocean intact, still with their seatbelts on.
Oh God. I thought it was like instant death. That means it was slow and painful. Oh,
3 minutes.
Oh God. How did they?
It wasn't even painful. It was 3 minutes of them cascading back to Earth.
And then they just hit and they died on impact? Or
That's
what?
right.
Oh my God. That 3 minutes. And it's like a regular person. It's a fucking teacher.
That's right.
It's Krista
McCullough.
Oh God.
And that
who's not mentally prepared for that? Like you didn't sign up to die.
All they would have had to do was to create like an exit.
Parachute.
That's right. And they would have survived. Theoretically, survived. But they didn't because
my God, Susie.
They call it. I think it's called like something like Go virus or something, where like these NASA guys get so psyched out of their mind to go to the moon and all that.
Yeah.
That like they ignore all these problems.
Right.
They just wanted to,
Yeah.
And they're just, this is what they want to do. And so then they don't do all the things they ought to do.
Right.
For safety and like careful.
Yeah. And sometimes you're like too close to the problem. Like you're too it's too specified. Like they say, okay, you are handling just this one little component, and they have all these different components that then get brought together and then constructed, but nobody's looking at the whole thing as a whole. And what are the, we need more over. Oh my God, that's fucking terrifying. Those 3 minutes where you just know you're going to die. I would just die of a heart attack before that.
Yeah. And that everything was still intact to the extent that, the little trinkets they take, like for their family, like something meaningful that you bring to remember your kid or your husband or whatever. They still had all that. It was all retrieved. And that when they were pulling, this is gruesome. So like some people might want to fast forward, but, that when they were getting the vessel out, it's hard and it takes a lot of manpower and stuff. At one point, one of the, astronauts. Is that the right word? What do they call them?
Yeah, astronauts.
Okay. Was being pulled out in his seat and then he like fell back into the ocean and was washed away. Like people watched him like fall, like there he was. And then now he's gone. He was lost to the ocean. And then they ended up only finding a bit of him.
Oh my God. That is a huge cover up.
Right. This is 40 years later or whatever the heck. And we're
39.
Like, excuse me, like, I believed all this time that it just
totally did.
Was smithereens.
And I, in a way, was like, that brought some sort of like, not comfort, but just like, thank goodness she experienced no pain, like everybody else too. But I just think about the regular person on board, somebody who didn't say the astronauts can get this, like, I'm in it whether I live or die.
Well, they're
but
weird.
She's a freaking elementary school teacher, or like middle school teacher, or whatever she was.
Yeah.
That's
it
like,
was
you
horrible.
You didn't plan on dying that day.
And like, she trained for a long, long, long time. So like, I'm sure they went through all these eventualities, but I guarantee you they did not consider what ended up happening.
Right.
That
could have been solved with a parachute.
Something that is intact, and you could theoretically survive if things were considered before that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that was horrific.
Wow.
Okay, let's move on to something lighter.
Okay.
Because that was terrible, and I had to share it.
I get it. I would too. It's like a big update.
Right?
We're rewriting history with that.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's a really good book, and it's very well researched, so I do recommend it, but my God. Wow. Holy crap, I did not know
that video is very deceiving.
What video?
The video of the Challenger not exploding,
well,
but the part of the Challenger exploding. Yeah. But they really just zoom in on just that, and you don't see any of the other part.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Moving on. Did you remember, this was a few months ago, but there was a woman from Hawaii who went missing, and it was like a big story. Like, where the heck did she go? It's super mysterious.
Were her kids missing? Were there something about her kids?
She doesn't have kids. No.
This is something
else. This is
then.
a lady who, she's very pretty, and she lived in Hawaii, and she had gotten on a flight to New York with an ex-boyfriend, and they had a layover in LA, and he went on the next flight to New York, and she didn't get on it, the connecting. And
that's a mystery.
Yes. Okay. So here's the wild story. Her name is Hannah Kobayashi, and her and her boyfriend were planning this trip to New York, and then broke up, and they didn't want to, it was stupid to reschedule. They were like, we'll just take the flight, and then when we get there, we'll go our separate ways. So they have a layover in LA, but it's real quick. And then, like I said, she doesn't get on the flight to New York. And then...
So they went to Hawaii together.
They live there.
Oh, they live there. I see. The trip was to New York. I always imagine it in the other direction.
Right. Yeah,
okay.
Right.
All right.
It's like, why are you going to New York?
Why are you going to New York? Yeah. Okay, so they got on the plane, got layover, got it.
Okay. So then she starts sending weird text messages to her family, and her family gets freaked out, what's going on? And then pretty soon it becomes clear that something's not right, that she's either lost her marbles or somebody's holding her against her will or something. And so then because she's pretty and it's a mystery.
Yeah.
People start getting involved, and the old online sleuths.
Oh, yeah.
Get real invested.
Yeah.
And then there's all these weird clues and I don't know. And it's was it sex trafficking? Is she just sort of kidnapped? Is whatever. And then her dad comes from Hawaii, and he is heartbroken and just desperate to find his daughter.
Yeah.
And again, trigger warning. Why do I have all these terrible stories?
Well, it's important.
He feels awful because he feels like he wasn't a good dad to her and he failed her or whatever. And he dies by suicide by jumping off a parking garage at that time, right then. And all these flyers, missing person flyers are surrounding his body.
Oh my God.
Okay.
This is terrible.
And then her whole family's fucking weird. It's Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but Keeping Up with the Kobayashis, except it's also the one aunt is a van influencer, one of those people.
Okay.
Hippy dippy types.
Uh-huh.
And they're all wackadoodle. Okay. The end of the story.
But wait. at the airport, weren't there like CCTV? Didn't they have security cameras? Couldn't they just see where she was going after?
Eventually, they pieced together that she did get her bags. She did go to the Grove in LA. They found one video where she's like talking to some dude, and they don't know like who's that guy. Is he like bad guy? Is he her boyfriend? Who knows? And so like they just don't know like, and where is she now? Next thing you know, they get CCTV video of her crossing the Mexican border by foot on her own.
What?
And they're like, she wasn't kidnapped or anything. She's just fucking in Mexico.
They find
her in Mexico, and the authorities are like, yep, she's there, and she's not kidnapped, and that's it. The investigation's over because if
she wasn't kidding when she said, you go your way and I'll go mine.
And so, like, evidently, she made a choice to, like, basically abandon her life, not tell her family. Her dad's now died by suicide about it.
Oh, my God.
And she's just sort of like,
no.
What? I'm in Mexico. I just want to
No. That is devastating.
Devastating.
This is strange.
It is strange. And so the point of the article I read, which was in The Cut,
going on
was, you know, this follow-up months later being like, all these online people got so invested in this story. And then, like, the end of it was just sort of like, yeah, she just, like, pieced out. And that's all you get. Like, you don't get the sort of, like, closure that you are hoping for in, like, the Gabby Petito where they, like, solve the murder or something. Yeah. And they, like, take this great pride in their abilities of sleuthing.
Right.
So they're just like, wait, she's just a fucking weirdo? Can you believe it? Okay, so Sarah, thankfully, I have a co-host who is a therapist. And so what I want to know, apart from the obvious, which is like, this bitch is crazy, what the hell would make somebody do that?
I was going to ask you, how often do you think this happens? I think this happens more often than we think.
Where people are faking a disappearance?
That
I can see just like ghosting your family.
Yeah, like
Luigi Mangione did. That's kind of what he did to his family. He just like quit responding and like went to Japan for a while and then murdered somebody.
Yeah, I can.
but
I can see.
She like created a ruse.
Did she though?
Yeah, she was sending weird texts where she was like, "I'm involved in some like fucking underworld shit." And, like, my identity was stolen.
Okay.
She was sending, like, false flags.
It was like that. I see.
And that's what made them think, oh, my God, somebody has her. Like, you know?
Yeah. Do we hear about all the stories where that happens?
What would make somebody do that?
Wanting to escape and not knowing
like a
how.
van influencer aunt where you're like, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, like just like leaving and just like, I'm out of here.
I mean, I gotta be honest, I can see that.
Like just running away from your problems, I feel like. And maybe people feel like they're not really running away when everybody's still connected digitally or with like, you're always just a phone call away. I wonder if it feels like, oh, I'm not really abandoning my life when it's so
But she had to know at a certain point that there was a manhunt and that there's like, you know, the whole world.
I want to know, is she really smart or really dumb?
I think she's a manic pixie dream girl.
Okay.
Because she's all of her posts on Instagram, because now she's back on Instagram. She has a new account.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Where she's like sitting on rocks and saying things about her true spirit or whatever.
Okay.
I think that there's these ladies that like twirling like torch batons and like Reiki sound bath ladies. Who they get sort of immersed in this like.
Right.
There's no balance of also reality.
Right.
It's all spiritual.
Yes. And that could be easy to, in that mindset, it can be easy to avoid, or to use that to avoid maybe some accountability or responsibility.
Yeah, like you want to shed the earth.
I'm shedding my physical whatever, but the reality is we exist in this physical world, and you have to play by the rules of...
Yeah, I have no patience for this shit.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how I always talk about, like in Christianity, the cross, we have the vertical, that's the spiritual.
Yeah.
And then we have the horizontal. That's here on earth.
Yeah.
If you only have one of those, you're fucked, I think. Like, you got to have a little bit of both. You got to
balance. Yeah.
Yes, you got to connect with your spirit, but
Yeah.
also don't be a stupid idiot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Logan 3:16.
That was one of your best. One of your best callbacks ever.
Oh, I knew you'd like that.
Really, really good, but it's also really true that, like, when you get too out of touch with what is actually happening.
I think even spiritual people will tell you that. Like spiritual leaders and like the ones who are really,
You have to also be grounded.
they will say that. Yeah.
Because this is real. This is our unfortunate
This is our
reality.
right. This is our reality. Right.
Whether we like it or not.
Yes. And it's being in denial if you don't play by the rules of this physical world.
Yeah, and your poor dad paid the price because you're a fucking idiot.
That is so sad. Poor family.
All right, last thing, Sarah.
Yeah.
There was an article in the New York Times. It was actually New York Times style, so fashion stuff. But it was about like what people wear to see their therapist.
Oh, I love this. Okay, let's hear it.
Well, the article got totally on my nerves, and so I knew I had to talk to you about it.
Okay.
Because it's like it included commentary from therapists about like how they interpret people's presentation.
Oh.
And then it also included some feedback from clients who say like whether they consider what they're wearing and if so, how and whatever. Okay, so my first question to you is like, as a therapist,
Yeah.
and yours are all virtual.
Zoom. Yeah, virtual.
So it's probably a little less pronounced, but still the context matters. So like to what extent does that play into your, I don't know, assessment?
We are a casual, it's casual vibes over here with therapist Sarah. I
And,
bring
like,
the
when
casual
someone-
vibes, so I think that helps. Sometimes, go ahead.
Like when people come on the screen,
Yeah.
are you like assessing what they're wearing?
I used to when I worked, and not in the way that you would think. I wouldn't assess to be like, oh, what are they wearing? Is it stylish? Is it not stylish? Do I like
It's
this?
like
Do I
if
not?
something changes.
If
maybe.
something, or if there is something that's peculiar or
Yeah.
stands out, like if this person is dressing in a way that's like not age appropriate and or not appropriate for the setting in some
Yeah.
way, or
Like if they showed up
could
in a
this be-
bikini.
right? Could this be maybe a little bit of like a histrionic personality disorder? Could this be like what do we got going on here? So, or is it do we have like depression? Do we have clothes that are stained or you've worn for a few days? Or I don't look at that and it is like, oh, I'm judging them. I'm looking at that as maybe a
like a cry for help.
yeah, an unreported or unvocalized sign of maybe depression or whatever it may be.
And to that degree, I'm sure
Nail
it's
biting,
also
anxiety,
like
that
grooming.
kind of stuff. Yeah, grooming stuff.
More generally.
Like, yes, like washed hair, whatever it may be. Like things that you'd look for in a way to add to your assessment to help to like not miss anything but not in a way where I'm being like, what? They decided to wear a sweatshirt? No, I don't care. I wear sweatshirts all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like wearing like very little makeup because that's just how I am, No, it's
Yeah.
not like it's very casual over here.
Okay.
And I think clients appreciate that.
I mean, a lot of the clients in this article were saying that like they feel a lot of pressure and that they actually would like go out and buy clothes just to wear to the therapist's office.
I would not want that for my clients. I would not want them to feel that kind of pressure, that this is the no judgment zone.
Yeah,
for sure. And I want you to be the most comfortable in the therapy room. I encourage my clients to do whatever they need to do. If you want to like fucking draw the whole time while you're talking to me, because that helps. If you want to like fold laundry, whatever you need to do, it's all good. And it's like, I love that.
Yeah, I like that you're saying that because the article made me feel anger towards the therapist they were talking to.
Oh, I hate that that is the wrong, that's not, therapy should be the safe place where you feel like you could let your guard down, where you could be very vulnerable, where you could be really open, where you don't have to show up. You can show up as you are. And that's what I mean. If somebody shows up as they are and the way that they are showing up is something that maybe shows I'm a little depressed, I'm going to take that into consideration and not miss that on the assessment. But it wouldn't be like any sort of judgment or, you know, and I don't want people at home thinking, oh my God, I got to wash my hair every time before. No, it's very obvious when this is very different when it's somebody who's dealing with like depression in that way. And also I'm saying this because it's not all, the signs are not always that clear. That is just one, but there are people who struggle with, you know, major depressive disorder who show up buttoned, like looking like dressed to the nines. You know, so that's not always an indicator, but I definitely don't want people to ever feel like they have to change who they are to come to therapy.
Yeah.
Definitely none of my clients.
I understand, of course, because we all do this, how clothing and the way that we present provides clues about who we may be or who we want people to think we are.
Right.
That's normal. Mm-hmm. What I didn't like was feeling like people felt pressure to be something. Like they said they wanted to be taken seriously, so they bought, you know, clothes that, like they had a baby and they didn't want to look like a schlub.
Oh, that's so terrible. They're going to the wrong therapists because I have therapist friends who specialize in working with like postpartum women, and they would never judge. They would be like, here, give me I'll hold your baby.
Yeah.
Well, you need to nurse right here. Go ahead. Oh, you got puke go ahead. Fine. We don't care. We're not here for that. We're here to like help you in this tough time.
And like one lady said she came in wearing this wool coat and that she had bought it at like a vintage or secondhand shop. And that the therapist was like, oh, I like your coat, where did you get it? And then she named like a fast fashion place. Like, did you get it at such and such fast fashion place?
Oh,
and so
that sounds judgy.
Yeah, the client quit. She's like, I didn't like that.
That is, people listening. If your therapist, even for a minute, makes you feel judged or anything like that, here are things you could do. A, call them out on it. You can say, you know, that didn't make me feel so good. And their job is to be able to sit there and process that and work through that, because the role of the therapist is very important. That's what they went to school for. If they can't do that, or you feel like you can't do that with your therapist because you don't have a close enough relationship or you don't feel comfortable enough, switch therapists. That's that you do not, you want to feel like my clients could tell me whatever. And I'd be like, yeah, oh my God. Here was my intention. That was that, you know, we would talk about that.
Or maybe
we would
the
work on
therapist
repair.
would be like, oh my gosh, I go to that shop.
Yeah.
And
I'd be like,
love
oh my
it.
God, I saw the same one on there and I was going to order it. And now I see it on you. And I thought.
Like it wasn't judgmental.
It was coming from a place of now I was going to like put it in my cart because I saw maybe like the version of that, you know, something like that.
I was
but
hoping
if
it was affordable.
Right. Yeah. So, because we're not making a lot of money. So, you know, I feel like I'm so sad that people think
I know. Okay, and
Not
then it
this
ended.
therapist.
The article ended with one of the clients saying, like, you know, that she dresses like she, like, almost like she has a crush on her therapist. Not that she does, but just sort of like she wants to impress them or whatever. And it said that she wants to show that a grown up and not a perpetually wounded 2-year-old, which is what it feels like when you're in therapy. That's what the person said.
Oh.
I know.
Well, and also,
it's all right if you are a perpetually wounded 2-year-old because that's why you're in therapy.
I think therapy should, like, we should also be talking about the ways that you are, like, perpetually
feeling like
wounded.
that. Yeah.
Like, not all the time, maybe a part of you sometimes,
Sarah,
but
you're so nice.
Not there's a wise mind, badass bitch in there, guaranteed, who's there way more than the wounded child.
And if you're in California and you need a therapist, you should contact Sarah
Sarah at solutionsoc.com. Solutions
because
with an S. Yep.
Wouldn't you like to have a therapist like that instead of some
I got
fucking
you.
loser?
Whatever. Come as you are.
Yeah. And that's a true thing. It's not pretend either.
It's not pretend because I'm going to have my feet up on my desk. I'm going to be
coming as she
playing
is.
with my silly putty. I'm going to be 100% wearing overalls or sweatpants. Guaranteed. Yeah.
All right.
Come on.
I'm glad
Who's
you
got
felt
time
that
for
way
that?
because I thought we were going to like fight about it.
Oh, who's got time for impressing your... No.
Come on.
No. Nope. You're paying me.
Yeah.
I work for you.
Yeah.
I should be dressing up for you. In fact, I'm sorry I don't. But I do that because I don't want them to think they have to.
Yeah. Pressure's off.
Pressure's off. There's no judgment zone. I say that all the time.
All right, people, if you ever want to help us, just go to our website, thebraincandypodcast.com, and check out our candy codes for all of our partners, because anytime you redeem any of those codes, it helps our show.
Yes.
If you want to join our patreon.com/braincandy, you can see all of our reality TV content. Check out our merch, but leave us a 5-star review if you'd rather just do something free and wonderful. We love you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.